Hello and welcome to my channel. Here I review new movies and television shows and release a review every day from Monday to Friday. Today I want to go over Netflix's new film, We Have a Ghost. It's an adventure movie about a teenager and his family moving into a haunted house, becoming friends with a ghost, and solving the mystery around its death. The original story was written by Jeff Mona, and the film was adapted for the screen and directed by Christopher Landon. It makes minor changes to the original story but maintains the spirit and most of the details. The film starts off with Ernest the ghost scaring off a family from his home. Then 1 year later, Frank Presley and his family buy the house for dirt cheap and move in. On their first night there, a strange noise comes out of the attic and the youngest Presley, Kevin, goes to investigate. He goes to check it out, and when Ernest jumps out at him trying to scare him, he ends up laughing. Ernest, confused by Kevin's reaction, ends up giving up and running away. The next night, Kevin returns and calls Ernest out. The two become friends, and together they try to figure out the mystery surrounding Ernest's death and what's keeping him stuck on Earth. The story's main line revolves around the relationship between Kevin and Ernest, while in the background there is a couple of B storylines involving Kevin's father Frank and his attempt to monetize videos of Ernest, and a former CIA agent and ghost aficionado who wants to capture and study Ernest. The movie does relationships well and teaches a lot of good lessons through Kevin. Kevin is a flat character, unlike the short story, and while he does open up over the course of the film, it's his personality and attitude that changes the world around him, rather than it changing him. Jahi Winston plays Kevin as soft and unconfident. He lets other people walk all over him, and he speaks in a demure tone. But when he opens up, shows off his intelligence, creativity, and big heart. He's got great chemistry with Harbour and does well in his scenes with Mackie. He manages to stand his ground admirably during the experienced actors' performances. His relationship with Ernest is deeply touching and hits on a lot of good bonding themes. Ernest is like a mentor or father figure to Kevin. He really listens and understands what he's saying, and he provides comforting but minimalist direction to the boy in times of need. Kevin tries to help him in return, and the two make for an odd but entertaining duo. David Harbour plays the cantankerous ghost and uses nothing but his facial expressions and body language. He says 2 words in the entire film and yet somehow conveys the entire spectrum of emotions, from crying over a loss to having a blast flipping off the cops. Kevin also faces turmoil from his strained relationship with his father. Frank is an unsuccessful, slightly egotistical man looking for a money-making scheme, and Kevin's tired of him breaking promises and ignoring him. The two butt heads across the movie and delve into the topics of imperfect parents. Anthony Mackie, who plays Frank, delivers one hell of a speech and gets the feel of the character right. He's great at subtle expressions of emotion, he's funny when he wants to be, and he's got decent chemistry with the family. He doesn't get as much time as Harbour or Winston, but he knocks it out of the park anyway. The story in general is filled with excitement, laughs, and lots of tugging on heartstrings. Unfortunately, it isn't entirely coherent. At times, it overdoes a joke, wastes time on storylines that don't matter, and glosses over important details with a joke scene. The bits with the media and all the TikToks of people reacting to the ghost were a huge example of this. It takes up almost 4 minutes of the film, ends up being redundant anyway with all the media outside their house, and it's so cringe-inducing that I had to pause the film. If you can suspend your belief a bit and make it through that one scene, the rest of the film is truly a treat. On top of the fantastic cast and a fun story, the film also has a really high production value. The visual cinematography is next level with beautiful looking scenery, great usage of CGI, and unique and fantastic camera work. There are shots in here that get across more information than entire movies, and the way that the film uses the camera to show off different characters' perspectives is cool. I loved how we would see through a character's eyes or through their phone, and the aspect ratio would change. There's also a number of fantastic shots that get across the weight of the story. The one that really stands out in my mind is after Kevin and Frank have an argument. Kevin is crying by a window in their attic, and the light shines through the colored glass to create this ethereal glow over him. The shot captures the gravity of Frank's speech and its effect on Kevin, and it's a really touching moment. The soundtrack is somehow even better with a good mix of original music and background tracks. The music hits like a Mack truck and always comes in at the perfect moments. It has songs that are woven into the story, and Kevin is a musical person by nature. He's always listening to music on his headphones, on his phone, or singing/playing it himself. The movie mirrors that with its love for sound and its ability to perfectly amplify his journey without being overbearing or forced. There are pop tracks from all different eras here and from a number of different genres. The film is good at picking the right vibe and using scored music for big moments. It tracks well with the story beats and sounds wonderful. Overall, I really enjoyed We Have a Ghost. It may be a family-friendly film, but it still touches on serious topics while going on a fun and exciting adventure. The cast does a great job, the film looks great, sounds great, and with some slightly better editing and a few touch-ups to the story, this would be a perfect film. If you're in the mood for something light, with a good bit of positive energy to it, give this a go. 8 out of 10.